Red snapper is one of the most sought-after species to catch among anglers. As a result, their populations have been closely monitored, and fishing for them has been tough but rewarding. Before venturing out to the Gulf, novice fishermen who have yet to catch their own red snapper fish can benefit from some advice. We have the ideal red snapper fishing primer for you, so don't worry. If you follow these, you're sure to hoist up your own ruby red snapper on your first trip. Red snappers are found in both deep and shallow waters. They are typically congregated by surrounding protective structures and can be found at any depth between 30 and 200 feet. Reefs, oil rig platforms, seawalls, and abandoned wrecks are popular hotspots. Focusing on man-made structures is one approach to cut down on the amount of time you spend scouting. Reefs or oil rig platforms in the Gulf will draw red snapper attention. Start at the coast and work your way out, looking for artificial reef structures. Make sure to note your position if you locate an area where red snappers have congregated. The following day, you can go back to that exact same location and find them there again for more. Red snappers are creatures of habit and are less inclined than other species to look for new residences. The only exception to the rule is if you overfish the same spot. When is the ideal time to fish for red snapper? Well, the summer is when spawning season begins. Depending on varied spawning conditions, the precise dates will vary every year. In June and July, it reaches its height. Be aware that there will be specific red snapper fishing seasons in both federal and state waters. Federal waterways account for more than 95% of the red snapper caught. But always be sure to check the local wildlife and fisheries to make sure that snapper is in season, the minimum size limit, and the per person quantity limit. Your chances significantly improve if you can locate a red snapper feeding area in more shallow water. They will become enraged if you use a wide area chumming tactic. Start chumming the perimeter with a good block of chunked fish. Red snappers will be attracted out of cracks and other structures as a result. It's time to get out your best bait to reel them in after that. For shiny, attention-grabbing fish, we advise using cigar minnows, hoagies, and pilchards. Pilchards are basically larger sardines, so buy them specifically for bigger fish like red snappers. You might be able to lure some powerful fish out of holes and deeply covered places by dropping these live baits with a powerful pole. If bites are slow, just make sure to keep the baits fresh. You can also try your luck with some glittering metal lures in addition to a live bait. Red snapper fishing with vertical baits can simulate an alluring, simple bite. Vertical jigs can be used in a hurry, although this will take some finessing. Vertical jigs often perform well at shallow depths of up to 30 feet to capture the most light. They are hence ideal for red snapper habitat. You can even try heavy spinning and bait casting tackle since those reflect so much light. Stronger currents require heavier weights to get the bait down to the seafloor. Anything that isn't completely secure will be swept away by the water. Red snappers like their prey to remain stationary in opposition to the current. Don't yank right away when you get that hit on the line. Red snappers typically do not bite on contact. Before entering, they sort of test things out. You will know the snapper is on the line when you feel that hard pull bringing rod straight downward. The circle hook is an effective hook for this kind of fish. None of that jerking motion is necessary with this hook. The circle hook helps keep the snapper locked after their initial bite, but it does take a steady touch and patience. You won't need to play tug of war too much if you just slowly reel it in, which is fantastic because red snapper weights can reach 30 pounds on a typical day. The red snapper fish is a stunning catch. Out in the water, the ruby red scales appear almost cartoonish. Regardless of skill level, catching this deep water fish can be difficult for beginners. Learning their routines is essential since red snappers prefer to eat close to where they live. Concentrate on using consistent, dependable, and long-lasting fishing gear.